Hi. Hi, everybody. I am so excited that you have decided to join me for my virtual pool party. Today, we're going to be talking about how to organize your homeschool records. I have a wonderful workbook today. All you have to do is add that sunscreen of 100% honesty and true homeschool records. Protect yourself from being burned, obviously, with disappointed college admission by being prepared with course descriptions. You can don your poolside ensemble of professional looking records, and I'm going to give you the information that you need. Oh, you're also going to get an oversized beach tote filled with goodies today. I have a free gift for everybody who's joining me. Now, listen, I thought we would start off by just sharing what is your favorite poolside location. So if you could chime in on chat and tell me where your favorite poolside location is. Mine is obviously Hawaii. Um, and so that's what I'm going to be dreaming of today. We have just a few minutes before we get started. So I wanted you to make sure that you download the workbook. Again, the workbook looks like this. And you will see it in the offers tab. Hawaii says Jamie. Wendy's going with Lake Erie. Yes. Melissa is Florida. Very good. Now, when you have the workbook printed, I want you to turn off your phone and close the other things that are using your Wi-Fi so that we can. Oh my goodness, Danielle is joining us from Vietnam. Beachside is her favorite place. This is video and audio, so the audio should be working for you. But probably if you're having trouble hearing me, it's because you got too many things using Wi-Fi. And that's why I say, if you turn off your computer, your other tabs on your browser, especially things that continually reload. Close your tablet, put everything else on airplane mode will really help. Okay. Let me get started by filling your wonderful big beach tote full of goodies. And I'm giving you a free gift of a coffee break book today. It's called Comprehensive Homeschool Records. The subtitle is Put Your Best Foot Forward to Win College Admission and Scholarships. And that says it all. All you have to do is on your workbook, you just write down that URL, tiny URL /free CBB. Okay. And that is going to get you the ability to download the book after class. Well, listen, I hope you have your workbook ready because it's time for us to get started. We have so much to learn, and I'm so excited. If you don't know me already, my name is Lee Benz, and I'm the Home Scholar. And welcome to my course description pool party. I homeschooled my own children through high school graduation. They both earned full tuition scholarships. They both were accepted to every college where they applied. And in fact, their admission advisor said to them, and I quote, this is Brian Jones. He says, your records, your transcripts and records were the best organized and documented I have seen. Funny story. Brian Jones met one of my friends who lives in Illinois. Yes, Illinois. And I live in Seattle, Washington. And when he met Laura, he said, oh, you homeschool. Do you know Lee Benz? Like all homeschoolers know each other. It's like everybody who lives, I don't know, who works at Boeing. They all know each other, right? It doesn't work that way. But Laura actually did know me. And she said, oh, yes, Lee and I go way back. We've been friends forever. And Brian Jones actually said to her, her records and transcripts were the best organized and documented that I have seen. And she thought that was so funny that he said it almost verbatim, exactly what he had said to me. Anyway, I love helping parents to earn great scholarships and to create wonderful records. And that's what I'm here to help you do today. So here's what I'd like for you to do. I'd like for you to tell me yes or no. Are you in the right place? Because this is the right place. If you have a preteen or teenager, you want to know how to plan and create professional homeschool records. You want to convince colleges that your child is well prepared so that they are worthy of college admission, worthy of the highest possible scholarships. I know that there are the occasional people who don't need scholarships, but I think it's okay that we all want scholarships. I really do. Yes, yes, yes. Everybody says yes. Oh, Wendy says she has an 8th and 9th grader. This is perfect for you. Well, I do hope that you'll stay for the whole workshop. I'm going to spend about 50 minutes to an hour teaching you important stuff. It's all me. You can tell that from the multi-page workbook. And then I'm going to spend about 5 to 10 minutes giving you an offer for the comprehensive record solution. And then I'll spend as much time as I possibly can answering your questions. So I've got an extended Q&A time. So if you want to stay and ask your questions, now is your opportunity to do that. And this is perfect if you do have a 12th grader and an 11th grader, as Michelle does. So, really, as long as you have a teenager, you are good. When I make my offer, I am going to be giving you some fast action bonuses and a great deal, including a buy one, get one free offer, a mini conference offer included with your purchase. So do stay. It's going to be a good deal. But remember, even if you don't want to buy anything, you can stay for the Q&A. All right, let's get started. First, I want to know, what is your biggest concern about record keeping? Because I find that if I just address your fears, then it's like, oh, okay. And then you're able to learn better. Sometimes for some people, it is creating believable records or making a transcript, or maybe it's making grades when you don't use tests, or will they believe you? There's a lot of questions. Making it look professional. Am I keeping too much or not enough? Not forgetting something, not having enough documentation, quality, credible. Yeah, so I know those feelings. I felt those same feelings. So in this workshop, yeah, legitimate. In this workshop, you're going to learn how to create transcripts, course descriptions, what work samples you need, reading lists, activity and awards lists. We're going to go over the steps for the final review, and then I have plenty of time to ask your questions. In the meantime, I really want you to just sit back and, grab your glass of water, iced tea, whatever you've got, and we're going to be relaxed and have fun today. I will be going over GPA, Rosalind, and assigning grades, and Tina's worried about leaving something out. Okay, now, once upon a time, our children were little. This is my grandson. And then one day, it seems like a week later, they go away to college. This picture here, this is how it feels when your child goes away to college. And in fact, you can ask, many of my staff members just had kids graduate. So college savings for me was always something that I would do, tomorrow. I was always so busy taking care of my young ones that savings was not as much of a priority as, looking back, it probably should have been. So I want you to start planning ahead now. Starting now is the only way that college finances will seem feasible. But that doesn't mean you have to save a huge amount of money. And that's what this class is about. Now, it was about when my children were in ninth grade. I've seen a lot of people here that say they have a ninth grader today. It was in ninth grade when I realized I was really in a world of hurt, because my younger son was going to be graduating the same year as my older son. And all of a sudden I did the math, and it was like, oh my goodness, I'm having two kids at college at the same time. What am I going to do? And so naturally, what my first reaction was, it was not the proper one. As a Christian, it was just not the right reaction, but my natural reaction was panic. and and so I totally panicked about how I was going to get scholarships for both kids. I really wanted a 2-for-1 deal. So I will tell you how I coped. All right. When panic struck me, I became obsessed with record keeping, because in my research, I read all of the books meant for homeschoolers, meant for private schoolers, meant for public schoolers, and they all agreed it all had to do with creating a paper trail is what gets you the best scholarships. And so I became obsessed with record keeping. Once my children graduated and they got the full tuition scholarships, and I became sure that it would work, I was convinced that I needed to help other people create their records as well. Because I'll tell you what, my kids aren't. They aren't what you would expect to be the full tuition scholarship type. They did not excel in sports. They were not consistent with volunteering. They were not super social. Often will describe my kids as sweet, ordinary, lovable, nerdy boys. And they still are. They don't take offense to me calling them nerds. I'm just going to say that. Um, so for me, it became necessary to keep the very best possible homeschool records that I could in order for them to get into college and graduate debt free. And it worked. Our piggy bank was completely saved. I learned a lot through the process. But as I said, my children won the 2 full tuition scholarships, which saved us about $184,000, which was money we did not have. And that was also why I didn't have to go back to work as an RN as I had been previously. And instead, I was able to start my business helping other parents homeschool high school. And that's why I'm with you today, because I wanted to pay it forward once I won scholarships for my own children. But I don't want you to think it's just me. It has worked for others as well. This is Lynette's twins. Both of her twins got full tuition scholarships and based on her transcript and course descriptions. So let me start by explaining this. There are 3 things that I learned about how to improve your chances of scholarships. Number 1 is that it requires time. You have to actually think about it, which is why I think it's important for us to sit by the pool now and then and just chit chat about scholarships and about course descriptions like we're doing today. Number 2 is that it takes effort. It's sort of like clipping coupons. You know, clipping coupons will save you money on your groceries, but only if you actually do it. You have to clip them regularly. You have to take them to the store and then you have to use them, right? That's the problem. And number 3, it takes wisdom. You have to know what it is that you can do that will actually improve scholarships. I like to call those things college coupons, right? And I want to start by helping you to clip college coupons. So on the very first of your workbook, I want you to write down every time you see words on the screen that are underlined, okay? So clipping college coupons requires time, effort, and wisdom. That is what you write down in your workbook. Okay. So again, every time you see something underlined on your screen, that is what you put on the workbook. Okay. These are the college coupons. These are the many small things that parents and teens can do that will increase your chances of college admission. And there are 8 of them listed here, and I'm going to list them off, okay? Number 1 is a rigorous academic education, the core classes plus the electives that your child enjoys. The next is outside activities and volunteer work. That's the extracurriculars. Without having extracurricular activities, you're less likely to get scholarships. Number 3 is a professional and accurate transcript, okay? Number 4 is thorough course descriptions. That's what we're talking about extensively today. That helps them to check the rigor of the education you've provided. Number 5 is meaningful college visits. You actually go to visit and then you use the details from your visit in your essays. The next is the timely completion of admission forms. When you want scholarships, you want to try to apply about a month prior to when everything is due. The next is great letters of recommendation from somebody outside the family who knows the child well and who can write well. And number 8 is completely up to the teenager, right? This is hard. Self-reflective, technically perfect college application essays, which frankly totally freaked out my kids. They were very good with the technically perfect part, but the self-reflective part of essays was just beyond their ability to cope. Now, all of these coupons are time sensitive, right? They all have to be worked on regularly. Some of them are out of your control. Pretty much everything the teenager does is out of your control. And that's why today I want to talk very carefully and specifically about course descriptions, because those are completely in your control. All right. You can control your homeschool records no matter what else is going on in your life. Okay. Now, why are these records so important? Transcript is important because they want to have that one-page overview of the student, but the detailed records are important too because colleges want to know the school of each applicant. Normally, when a child goes to a public or private school, they contact the school and they said, "Tell me about your classes. Tell me about your school." You, however, as an independent homeschooler, you want to voluntarily provide that information so that they have that information about your school as well. Colleges want homeschoolers to apply, so they may not require course descriptions, but if you provide course descriptions, then it can really help you. Now, remember, colleges would rather have every student pay full price. Okay. I personally did not want my children to pay full price for college. I would rather get scholarships, right? So this is why colleges want to know about your homeschool, but they may not require course descriptions, and yet they can still benefit you. But sometimes they do require or request course descriptions. And that's why this is important. In order to avoid an emergency, you want to start early, be prepared, and create your homeschool records yearly. Every year, I get a handful of very sad moms who thought that they were exempt, that they were going to be the ones that did not have to create course descriptions. And while that may be true, there is no guarantee that it's going to be true. And course descriptions are not hard to do, but it does take a bit of time. And it's not like you can just wiggle your nose and pooh, it shows up, right? You have to actually take action to get them done. And that means planning ahead to get it done. So one mom told me that she wasn't planning on course descriptions because they were going to get a GED. Colleges wanted course descriptions anyway. One mom missed out on any scholarships. Her child was devastated. They literally couldn't afford to go to college at all, period. One parent said, community college is the plan, gonna get an AA degree from community college through dual enrollment, no problem, right? Her college wanted course description. Mom was panicked and scrambling. So, right now, some of my members are reporting college admission and scholarships, even though senior year hasn't even started yet. And other moms are just barely starting their records and feeling very far behind. So I want you to plan ahead, and don't listen to just me. I'm not your nagging mom. Okay, I want you to listen to Lisa. All right. This is Lisa's word of warning. She wrote this to me on a Sunday night on a Facebook message. And the subject line was course description emergency. Basically, she just started her transcript 2 weeks before it was due. She thought she had plenty of time. Her daughter, I think, had done dual enrollment. She figured she was immune from record keeping. And then suddenly, at the last moment, she found out that the college needed course descriptions and they needed it by Monday morning. Again, she's writing this to me Sunday night, needed Monday morning. And she was writing to beg me to tell you to start early. She said, I know many homeschool moms suffer from the same disease. The dreaded procrastination bug can have serious ramifications. You don't want to lose out on financial aid because you put it off. And while it is true, it's possible your college would say no, thank you, but it's much more likely that they will require, request, or appreciate course descriptions. Let's dive in. Let me show you how to start or at least finish up your records for the year so you don't get burned in the college admission process. I want to talk about this like a pool party because not long ago I had a luau in my backyard, which is why I have my lay on today. And the pool party that we're doing today is a lot like planning a luau in your backyard. So let me explain. It's not like you can just wiggle your toes and magically you have a luau in your backyard. It takes some planning, and figuring out course descriptions is the same. You have to start by figuring out a party plan. So what does that mean for you? Your party plan is a framework, right? An overview. And so this is a list of what we're going to cover in our course description. Pool party, it is your framework, your party plan. Okay. Here's what we're going to talk about: the official transcript. That is a one-page overview of educational stuff. Two is the course descriptions. A course description is about one page or less per class, not more than one page per class. The third is the reading list that includes all of the books they read for school and for fun. The next is the activities and awards list, similar to an adult resume, kind of, sort of. The next is work samples, just in case a college asks to see something specific. I was asked for a graded English paper, a lab report, and math. Let's see. And then all of these things are great outside documentation that you actually educated your child. I don't want you to worry. We're going to go over each one of these in more detail, but I wanted to give you kind of the flow first, right? Now, when I had my luau in my backyard, I had to decide what toys I was going to put out to occupy my grandchildren in order for the party to be successful. And in my luau, figuring out party activities was a key. And I want you to start our pool party here by collecting our pool toys, because every good pool party has pool toys to choose from. And so I want you to start by thinking about what training and templates and tools are going to help you to make your job easier. You can find templates so that you have a visual example. You can get additional training to help you understand exactly what you're doing. And all of that comes with the comprehensive record solution. It has the free templates, cut and paste Word documents. It's super easy to use. And that's why I encourage you to learn more about comprehensive records. And also, don't forget our free book that we're giving away today, Comprehensive Records. I gave it at the beginning of class. I'll mention it one more time, but just make sure in your workbook you have written down tinyurl.com/free CBB. Okay, this class is going to get you a jump start on that training that you need to get the job done. All right. Then, when I had my luau, I had to figure out where was everybody going to sit. It was a super hot day, so I needed to make sure we were in the shade, right? And so that's what you'll do with your course description pool party as well. The next thing you want to do is to arrange the deck chairs. We are on page 3 of your workbook now. Arrange the deck chairs. So what does that mean to you? It means that you're organizing your documents in priority order, and that the contents should provide page numbers so that you can quickly explain what is included, what page can they find it. That way, if they want to see just one course description, they can look it up easy. For example, one of the colleges where we applied denied us admission. What? It's true. They said, no, you can't get into our college because we don't have a subject test in foreign language. And I said, I don't have a subject test in foreign language, but I do have 6 course descriptions, 3 in Latin and 3 in French. And so if you look at this page to this page of my comprehensive records, you will see the rigor of our foreign language program. And they read those few pages they found in the table of contents, They changed their mind, gave us admission. Both of my kids were admitted. Both of my kids got the highest possible scholarships that are awarded for freshmen at that college. So having that organization can really help. This is the suggested order for your table of contents, the way that you put it together into a packet. Oh, I'm looking to see if I've got my packet here. Yes, I do. Okay, this is what mine looks like, little book, right? And I had a table of contents on it in this order. Transcripts first, that's the one-page overview, that's important. And then course descriptions, reading lists, activity and awards list, work sample, and then any other outside documentation that might be required. Things like legal information, your declaration of intent to homeschool, maybe a school profile or guidance counselor letter, those are required by the Common Application. Now, when I had my luau, I also invited people in so that they felt like it was a party from the get-go. I had a welcome sign on my door that said this was a luau, come on in, right? So how are you going to invite people to learn more about your homeschool? Well, it actually starts with your transcript. It's like a party invitation, right? It says, oh, look at all these cool things that are inside this student's records. Now, the transcript is a one-page overview. It gives just the title, the grade, and the credit value of each class, and it invites the colleges to learn more. It's also the backbone of complete records. So you always start with your transcript first, and you try to polish up the class titles and make it perfect first. And then you create your course descriptions from that document. So listen up. You need to make your transcript every year when your children are in high school, so it's ready to go at all times. You know, you might need it for summer camp. You definitely will need it to get a good student discount on your car insurance. You will need it for college admission, whether that is when they're a senior in high school or whether when they're 40 years old, they might need their high school transcript. Later on, they might need it for graduate school or their next job or their next job. Believe me, it's not hard to make. It may not be needed today, but it might be needed in the future. And you don't want to be the weakest link when your child gets a great job offer and needs their transcript. You want to make sure that you're there for them. So, a couple of tips on the transcript. You want to make the transcript professional. You do that by being a professional. Here's how to be professional. You take classes on how to homeschool high school. All right, everybody chime in on chat. Are you currently, right now, this very moment, taking a class on how to homeschool high school? Yes, 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 you are right this minute. Okay, that means every single one of you here today is a professional. Okay. The next thing you want to do is to make it official. How do you do that? Does anybody know? I bet you do. You write official on the top. It should say official homeschool transcript right on the top. That's how you make it official. Okay. And so that's how you make the transcript professional and official. But of course, the party success actually requires course descriptions. It's like having a pool party is only going to be successful if you have a pool. And it doesn't matter whether it's a splash pad or an above ground pool or a beautiful pool like they have everywhere in Southern California. What really matters is that you have a pool. And the same thing is true with course descriptions, is that they are the part of the records that are going to make you really successful. Okay. The transcript may be submitted by the homeschool parent. Every single college across the United States will allow homeschool parents to submit their transcript independently. All right. So when I had my luau in the backyard, I tried to create a luau atmosphere, right? You can see my little pineapple behind me, my colorful flowers. Everybody had a lei. decorations, right? It was the ambiance. And what I want you to do is to create an atmosphere in your course descriptions of academics. And so the most important part of your homeschool records is the course descriptions. They are the description of the rigor of your homeschool. Now, here's the thing about course descriptions. You do not need a degree in education. You do not need a cover school or somebody looking over it for you. You do not need scientific training or a graphing calculator. You do not need a grading rubric. None of those are required. They're completely up to you if you feel like they would benefit you. Course descriptions have three main ingredients, okay? What you did, what you used, and how you evaluated. So let's look at each one of those now, and I'm going to explain what I mean by each one. No need to panic, okay? Number one, what you did. That is a one-page description that is a simple descriptive paragraph about what was included in your class. Now, here's the thing. You may be asking yourself, I cannot possibly do that, right? Can I actually write a descriptive paragraph? And I'm here to say, yes, you can. And I know that to be true. You can write a descriptive paragraph. I know that your child can write a descriptive paragraph. And I also know that chances are they really, really complained about the process of learning how to write a descriptive paragraph. And that is what I am subconsciously hearing from you right now. You may whine about it just as much as your kids do, but you can, in fact, write a course description. And I'm going to teach you how to do that today. So that's the first part. The second part of what you need is a list of what you used. Now, when we talk about what you used for a class, it could be what you plan to use, what you actually used, what you added, what you supplemented, the field trips, additional books, you went to the library, you went to a museum, you saw a play, you visited Broadway, you went to the science center. You could list activities or lessons that were taken outside the home. So when I say what you used, it's not always just apology of biology. It could be a longer list if you did more than that. The third piece is some sort of a description of how you evaluated your children. Now, you don't need tests to evaluate. If you did use tests, they should never be your only method of evaluation. So, for example, you want to make sure, let's say you're doing math and you're using a standard textbook that has quizzes and tests. Well, so then your grade should be based on tests, quizzes, and daily work. Never, never only on the test, because you would literally be the only high school in the nation that graded only on tests. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that only law school grades on the one final exam, and that beyond that, it never happens. Okay. So I don't want you to do that either. Now, when you're writing a course description, you can keep your method of evaluation very, very simple. You can say it was based on tests, quizzes, and daily work. Easy, done. Or you can show every single method that you have evaluated in long form with a percentage of each one. So you could say, I'm going to use the math example again. Okay. Tests, I had a percentage grade for each one. Quizzes, I had a percentage grade for each chapter quiz. And daily work, I gave them 100% for each chapter in daily work, for each chapter for daily work, because they did every problem in the book. Do you know how unusual it is to do every problem in the book? I wanted my children to get credit for that. So that's the three ingredients. So let me go back, take a little step backward, and teach you how to write that descriptive paragraph that you're so afraid of. Okay? We talked about course descriptions. And I know it's scary to you. I also know the cold, hard truth is not warm and sunny at all. The truth is that course descriptions are a fifth grade writing assignment. You are not in fifth grade. You are an adult. You know how to write these. You do them all the time. When somebody says, sit down and write a letter or an email, you sit down, you write a letter, you write an email. What do you think that is? That is a fifth grade writing assignment. That is a descriptive essay, this letter that you wrote. Okay. You do that all the time. So this is a short descriptive paragraph. So here's what I need you to do. Everybody chime in on chat. Repeat after me. Are you ready? Chime in on chat. I can do this. All right. I'm typing it in too. I can do this. I did not spell it right, guys. Sorry. Everybody, it's okay to laugh at me. I can do this, right? We can totally do this. Now, I'm going to teach you how to write a course description the same way that you taught your children to write a descriptive essay. Are you ready? It all starts with writing prompts. You remember giving your children writing prompts and they would then write. They had to know what to write about. So these are 3 simple writing prompts to get you started. And this is what I want you to write on the bottom of page 3 in your workbook. These are your writing assignment prompts. Number 1. In this class, the student will. Now, what that writing prompt does is it gives you the verb tense and the tone. It doesn't matter what verb tense you use. What matters is that you just choose one and write it, because homeschool moms will stress forever. Whether is it past, is it present, is it future, is it pluperfect, right? You don't know. So using this writing prompt will give you that information, okay? My husband's so funny. He says, my writing prompt was always, hey, start writing. That's true. Okay, in this class, the student will. Number 2, writing prompt. The student will study blank with blank. This helps you focus. What are you writing? What is your purpose? Why are you doing this? The 3rd writing prompt is this. Topics include. That's awesome, because you can list words from the table of contents all day long. You can start and stop that sentence at random all day long. The one thing you have to be careful about with topics include that on the table of contents, each item is going to be capitalized, right? But when you write a course description, you don't want random capitalization. Side, angle, side are not capitalized unless it's the side, angle, side theorem. Euclid is going to be capitalized, but not parallel lines, okay? These writing prompts will help you get started. Now, I do encourage you when you're writing course descriptions for the first time that you use your easiest class for course descriptions, which means that often you're starting with something that you used a textbook with, because much of that's already done for you. So maybe math. It could be true that math might be your hardest class to teach, but probably a textbook is going to be your easiest course description to write. Okay. Now, using the writing prompts on your screen, let me explain how that might sound as you're writing a course description. It might be something like this. In this class, the student will study the concepts of Algebra 1. The student will study using the spiral review method with Saxon Algebra 1. Topics include, and then you go to the table of contents and you write down the contents of the book. And that's how you write a descriptive paragraph. Now, it can be a little bit easier to write a descriptive paragraph with the comprehensive record solution, and I'll be explaining more about that later, but this should get you started. However, we need to move on. Course descriptions are very important, but they're not the only piece of homeschool records. So when you go to a pool party, what do you bring? You bring a book bag. If you're a homeschooler, you're going to bring a book bag filled with books, right? Sunscreen, bottle of water for sure, but mostly books, and then, more books. So that's what we're going to do for this course description pool party as well. And the poolside book bag is your reading list. Okay. The reading list kind of fills in the gaps to help the college understand more about the abilities, academic abilities of your child and the interests of your child, proving the breadth of their education, filling in the gaps around the course descriptions that you've read, demonstrating college readiness, especially when you do have some of the books from my college bound reading list. But basically, a reading list is just very simple to create. It includes the author and title. You do not, this is not a reading bibliography. Okay. It's not an MLA format. No, no. It is question, just title and author. Okay. Now, what is normal? People ask me this all the time. My child is a terrible reader. My child is a prolific reader. What is normal? I will say somewhere between 600 books per year is normal. And if you have 6 books per year, maybe you would combine them into one list that's 24 books long over the 4 years of high school, and presto, you've got your reading list. For other kids that have interests that they might go to the library and look things up, you might have 600 books per year. I will give you a little tip though. Once you get to about 50 or 60 books, you've proven your point. You have a prolific reader. They're definitely interested in all of these topics. You might as well just stop at 50 or 60 books. You don't need 600. I promise. I know that to be true because my child read 600 books and I did not put them all on there. Okay. So the reading list can include books for school, books for work, books for fun, reading for pleasure. It can include audiobooks. I don't want you to have 6 audiobooks only, but 6 books they read with their own eyes, then 6 additional audiobooks as well. I included a lot of books on chess for my chess loving child. My other child loved history and economics, tons of books on those as well. So a reading list is going to look different for every child. When you put always the title first or always the author first, then you can alphabetize it. And that would really help you. I love what Stephanie just writes, 6 to 600. That's so true. Okay. Moving on. Oh, I wanted to fill your book bag one more time. Okay. I've mentioned this a few times, and a couple people have asked about it. But what I want you to do is write down the free book that I'm giving you today. Hey, Matt, could you go get me the copy of that book and I'll show them the copy? Okay. The comprehensive homeschool record book. Again, on your workbook, you just write down tinyurl.com/freecdb. People are asking me, how do I arrange this? And is this by year? If you have a child who is not a big reader, then you would have one list for all 4 years of high school. And if you have a prolific reader, then they would have all their books for 1 year in 1 year at a time. So you'd have 4 reading lists. This is what the book looks. Let's see if I can get that to you. This is what the book looks like that I'm giving you today. Okay. This is sold on Amazon for $8 in print. I think it's $6, $5.50 on Kindle, but I'm giving it to you for free today. Reading articles is not usually included on the reading list. Okay, now we're moving on, right? When I had my luau, we planned for party games. All right, we set up cornhole, croquet. We had a splash pad for the little kids to play on. And games are remarkably important to your homeschool records as well, because what games are is the activities and awards list. Your child does not have to cure cancer. They only have to have fun doing things outside of the home. This list is the activities and awards list is for normal children, not just extraordinary children who you read about on the news. You know why you read about them on the news? Because they're that unusual. That's why. Normal children all the time have a fantastic activities and awards list. So activities are organizations or groups that your child belongs to or attends. Yes, you can include youth group or taekwondo or homeschool co-op, a member of, whatever Highline Homeschool Co-op. It includes dual enrollment student at Highline Community College. It could include sports teams, the fun leagues, the actual competitive leagues. The second thing you include is the awards. That's any special position or commendation, no matter how small. Sometimes it seems small, but it's actually quite important. So, for example, when my child was took the PSAT, I was tremendously disappointed and it was just wrong that they didn't choose my children to be the National Merit Scholar, right? So we were a little disappointed that they were both commended scholars. However, being a National Merit Commended Scholar is still a pretty big deal. And we did list that on their activities list. They applied to different scholarships. One of the scholarships that they won was a $25 gift certificate to Half Price Books, um, which is not a big award. And yet, even so, we put that award on their activities and awards list. One of my members actually had a brilliant musician. And so she created an activity and awards list, but then she also created a separate music repertoire, which included all of the different musical pieces and musical instruments that she had done for her child. All right, I'm going to give you a pro tip really quickly. What I'd love for you to do is to look over your activity list for things that really should also be on the transcript, and then look over your transcript for things that might be an activity. I remember when I was in high school, I went to a public high school, Bellevue High School in Bellevue, Washington. And I had so many friends that took multiple classes year after year after year that were also activities. I, for example, was a member of the Bellevue High School Concert Choir. It's true. On my transcript, it said choir, 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 right? There's four choirs. It didn't say choir 9, choir 10, choir 11. It just said choir every year. I got a whole credit. I always got an A because I sang and I showed up for class. On the activity list, it didn't say choir, choir, choir. It said member of the Bellevue High School Concert Choir. Okay. And so it is possible for things to be on the activity list and also on the transcript as a class. Okay. So look over each one to see if should it go on the other one as well, or are they separate? Okay. Often volunteer work is only on the activity list. Often musical and artistic anything will go on both the activity list and also on the transcript as a class. Now, back to my luau with my lay. When I had my luau, I planned for the food. Food is always a big deal for me. I love making party food. I one time catered my mom and dad's 50th wedding anniversary for 100 people, I, myself, and me. And I love doing that. And so I planned for special Hawaiian food and drinks for my family. And here is my little granddaughter, Betty, poolside with her little umbrella drink. So let's think about what are the pool party refreshments for course descriptions. Okay. Well, often it boils down to work samples. These are things that can be included in your comprehensive record. They are proof positive that your child did what you said that they did. Just like written work, for example, it's not usually pictures. Colleges do not speak in a visual language. Their love language is words and numbers. Words like course descriptions, numbers like grades, credits, that sort of thing. And so you want to give them these work samples in the college's love language, which is written. Some examples of what I've seen colleges request include math tests in the student's handwriting. That was not a hardship because I kept all my child's math tests. I was requested of science lab report. When you're asked for that, you give your best lab report, not the one that was the most annoying. Okay. The third thing I was asked for was a graded English paper. I did not keep all those graded English papers, so I printed it off the computer because they did all their work on the computer. I printed it off, put a big old A on it, and I submitted that as their graded English paper. Now, when you're writing course descriptions, it can add some gravitas if you say work samples available on request. Okay. And then if you have work samples and you say that, then, it kind of shows that, yeah, you've really been keeping records. You're not even kidding about that. Now, finally, with any kind of party, it ain't over until you cleaned up. I will say I usually leave the cleanup to my husband and my two sons, right? Because I do the cooking. Did I mention that? And so they do the cleaning up. But when it comes to these course descriptions, you need to do the final review. So what does the final review mean? Well, it means that you did a spell check, but you have to be careful with that because not all words show up on spell check. Sometimes you just use the wrong word, but it's spelled correctly. The next thing you want to do is you want to check for consistent formatting. Well, how do you do that? It's pretty easy, actually. You shrink it down to 50%. So you're seeing 2 or 4 pages on a page. They should look kind of similar. That's how you're going to pick up, oh, that had much too high of a font size, or this one started way lower on the page than it needed to. And then you enlarge it to 150%. That's how you can pick up any stray marks, like, oh my goodness, I left a yellow highlighter on that. I forgot. I put in the grade and forgot to take off the yellow highlighter. And then you save your work, and then you repeat that process every year. Every time you get into your course descriptions, you go through that step again. Now, let me give you 5 pro tips for creating comprehensive records. I'm going to go through this kind of quickly because we just have 10 minutes left on the teaching part, and I want to make sure to get to your questions because I know people have been asking questions. Tip number 1 is that a cover letter is used to introduce or explain things. You can have a very simple cover letter. Mine said, encloses the comprehensive records for my son, Kevin Binns. But a cover letter can be used to explain, maybe you took a 5-year homeschool. Maybe you have way too many credits than expected, and you want to explain that it's a year-round school and, that sort of thing. It can explain all sorts of things, health issues, failing grades, changing from one school to another. The next tip is that copy and paste is way easier than compose and create, and use course descriptions from others whenever you can, which is why my comprehensive records has a Word document so that you can use the Control F function to find specific course descriptions. I don't know if you're familiar with, cut and paste, Control C, Control V, right? Well, there's another control. It's called Control F, and it will find anything on the page. So you could Control F for calculus in my documents, and you'd find all of the course descriptions for calculus. The next thing you can do is to copy course descriptions. I'm looking for my book here. Don't have that either. Okay, you can copy course descriptions from my book in print. I do think there's a couple of course descriptions in the book I'm giving you today, but my longer book, Setting the Record Straight, has acres and acres of course descriptions. Oh, thank you, Matt. This is what that book looks like, Setting the Record Straight, and it is filled, about 1/3 of it is course descriptions. The problem with using a book that's in paper is that you cannot cut and paste a book. Have you noticed that? So you'd have to type it in. So it's not quite as easy as the comprehensive record solution, but it does have course descriptions that you have my permission to use. But you can also use the course descriptions from curriculum providers when you have bought the curriculum from them, okay? Number 4 is to avoid plagiarism by using what I call the Starbucks method. Let me explain the Starbucks method. Okay. You get yourself into Starbucks. You read the course description over and over and over and over and over, not memorizing it, you're learning it. And then you take a sip of your coffee, tea. And then you take a nibble of your cake pop or cookie. And then you spin around in your chair 3 times. That's a very important key. Don't miss that one. And then you write the course description in your own words. You see what we did there? We learned it and we wrote it in our own words. So that is not plagiarism. That is learning material and then writing a short essay. And that's how you use the Starbucks method. The final tip is that delight directed learning requires course descriptions as well. It's neither less important or more important, it is equally important. And to do that, you use what I call the sticky note strategy. It is listed in this book. It is also part of the comprehensive record solution. But basically, you have a sticky note for each activity and you're grouping them together into groups. And that's how you create your course description. Now, in this next section, I want to teach you how to get it all done, because having the best of intentions isn't enough. You actually have to do the work, right? So, quick question. Which one of you would rather sit by the pool than write course descriptions? Who would rather sit by the pool? I'm going to say me. Me. Okay, that's me. I would rather sit by the pool. So this is important. Let me give you 4 ways to actually get it done, Rebecca, as long as it's in the shade. You know what? This is why I live in Seattle. Our hottest days are like 75, 80 degrees. Okay. All right. How do you actually get it done when you'd rather sit by the pool? Number 1, you got to understand that it's actually your responsibility. I used to feel threatened when people say, I'm going to put this on your permanent record, right? We used to joke with my kids, you better have a better attitude or I'm going to put that on your permanent record, right? So it was a joke in our house. But the truth is, the permanent record is our responsibility as a homeschool parent, right? So let me ask you a couple of questions. Yes or no? Are you a homeschool parent? Yes or no? Are you a homeschool parent? And then number 2, is it your job to create homeschool records? Yes. So you are educating your children. The government sees that you are a school. Schools have to provide paperwork. The employer, the college, they don't care that you think, but I'm just a parent. They see you as a school, and the school wants records, and that is just part of your job. Number 2, I want you to understand the value of the work that you're doing, because the financial reward for this is huge. Again, I needed money for scholarships. Who's with me on this one? And scholarships are a reward for proof of education. Okay. And then 3rd is I want you to understand college admission. You see, convincing colleges that your child is well educated, it's not a feeling, it's proof, right? It takes effort. When people talk to me, when we're reviewing their transcript or part of the Gold Care Club, they only have to say a few words and I understand what their homeschool is like, right? But colleges are not like sympathetic friends. They have not been homeschooling for 20 years like you and I have. And so here's what you do. You convince colleges using words and numbers that colleges understand, not pictures, not movies, not social media, but you do it in educationalese without any hashtags. That's how you do it. Now, the next way to get it done involves pizza. I love pizza, right? How does pizza help? Well, you can go with prioritizing homeschool records by having the pizza only diet until it gets it done. So when you're prioritizing it, I want you to think about, what do you personally need to prioritize records above and beyond? Okay. So write down what applies to you. Does that mean no cleaning, no laundry, no dishes until it gets done? Does it mean no yard work, no gardening, no cooking till it gets done? Maybe it means no taking meals to friends, no volunteering at any of your favorite places to volunteer, no serving others. Maybe it means no participating in choir, no coffee with friends, no parties or party planning, no going out until this is done. You see how prioritizing your records means different things to different people, but you have to prioritize it. I was talking to one mom, and I'm telling you, she always had things that she prioritized over her friends. But my friend just had a baby, but I have to serve at my church choir. I'm only one of four altos. That doesn't matter. You got to get your records done. Okay, done. Okay, so what I want you to do is to put it on your calendar. Now, if there was just some way to get it done quickly, like maybe copy and paste. Maybe you could just copy and paste something to help you overcome the blank page. Oh, that's what my comprehensive record solution is all about. It copy and paste just like that. Now, not long ago, I got this note from a happy customer. Shelly was telling me that the college coordinator emailed her back with this sentence and said, "This is great. I am going to hold you up as a shining example to other homeschool parents on how to do transcripts and course descriptions." Shelly, of course, laughed because she was using my example. But she was not the only one experiencing success either. Tracy has my favorite quote ever. She was super successful with her records. Her child won 160 over $160,000 in scholarships for her 4 years of college. And they figured, even if they had worked for 100 hours on their course descriptions, it was still paying off at a rate of $1,600 per hour. I would not have done the math. I love the fact that she did that math. I think that's hilarious and quite a value for your hard work. So think for a moment, why did you attend this workshop? I mean, it's a summer day. I did promise a pool party, and I am wearing my lei, right? But there had to be a good reason for it. Was it college admission, scholarships, learning how to homeschool high school? It's not as easy as getting into college, right? You have to actually pay for college. All of the above. Yes, we get a lot of all of the above when I give this class. It's true. So the time to take action is now, because frankly, you're out of denial. And I really believe that you are capable of this task. And I'm confident that you're here for a reason. I know that you can buckle down and do it because you've been sitting here for almost an hour. It's your time to get that job done. What you really need is to be committed, right? I will write my course descriptions in, and then you fill in your commitment. When are you going to take action? Okay. Think about, when are you going to make that happen? Now, I know that you're wondering, where can you get the tools and the training and the templates, and what is this lei saying about copy and paste? And it's all in the comprehensive record solution. You're totally capable. It makes the project fast and easy to complete, because it gives you everything that you need and helps you to make sure your child can stand out above the crowd. It gives a competitive advantage for college admission and scholarships. The comprehensive record solution has 4 core modules. Let me explain them really quickly. The first is the encouragement module, which is the elements of a comprehensive record and 4 successful examples. The second gives you the tools and templates you need to get the job done fast. It includes the downloadable template in Word, RTF, and Pages with the cut and paste course descriptions. The third module is the educate. This is where I teach you what it is that you're doing. Okay. It includes workshops on specific pieces of it. It includes a book, which is actually about a third of the book here. is included in the comprehensive record solution. It includes additional examples and templates as well. Number 4 is the empowerment module, and that's where you get information on how I can provide feedback. If it will encourage you, only if it will encourage you, I can give you feedback on up to 4 pages of course descriptions and give you the support that you need. Now, again, we've made it as easy as we possibly could make it with the copy and paste course descriptions. You go into the document, you control F to find the course description, you control V to paste it into your document, the template that we give you. All you need to do is skim it over for accuracy, change the name maybe to your textbooks that you used, maybe change the grades to the grading criteria that you used. Plus, the comprehensive record solution will teach you how to create and find other course descriptions that you can also use without plagiarizing anyone. Now, the comprehensive record solution is constantly updated and improved. And actually, this past week, we have nearly doubled the number of course descriptions available because homeschool parents like you have been eager to share their hard work with others. They want others to benefit from their hard work. And so these are all waiting for you on your download page, even if you've purchased before. But these are additional course descriptions. So currently we have 325 course descriptions, 142 full page course descriptions, 1 page long, that include the grading criteria, and 6 complete comprehensive records from joyful parents who are eager to share with others. With your purchase of the comprehensive record solution, you get 4 everyday value bonuses, including the transcript pack to get that core piece done quickly, the planning pack to help you plan your college admission calendar, the record keeping pack, because frankly, great records means you've been keeping great records, and the Silver Training Club. The Silver Training Club is continuing education for professional home educators like you. It gives you 5 classes on how to homeschool high school every month. Those 5 classes are changed on the 20th of every month. Oh my goodness, quick, check the calendar. Yes, it's true. If you were to buy today, you would get the 5 classes that are for this month and the 5 classes for next month because the new classes come on the 20th. So the Silver Training Club is free for 30 days. After 30 days, you will be charged for $27 a month. You can cancel at any time, but I do encourage you to stick with the Silver Training Club. I believe that education is the part of homeschooling that makes you a better home educator and that earns better scholarships in the long run for you and your child. But today we're also adding 4 surprise bonuses, including a buy one, get one free bonus because we're throwing in the total transcript solution for free. It also includes the emergency transcript help for free. And if you have, say, just a few hours, it will teach you how to get it done. It includes the admission and scholarships pack and a workshop on creating goals that go beyond coursework. You definitely want to purchase now because of that buy one, get one free bonus. Then we also have 4 more fast mover bonuses if you purchase right now. This is a surprise mini conference for people who join within the next 60 minutes, sorry. And this is a mini conference that includes 4 workshops, including creating homeschool balance, scheduling is the key to sanity, planning high school courses, and college admission and scholarships. It has a $60 value. Plus, there's no risk to you. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can get 100% of your money back. This is a digital product, right? We don't mail you anything. And that means that there's no restocking fee. There's no reshipping fee. It is just a money-back guarantee. We also would like to point out that the total comprehensive record solution is a tremendous value for you. With all of the bonuses that I've included, it's over $1,000 in value. Plus, you're coming home with a poolside book bag filled with goodies that will all lead to real college savings. But we also have a coupon code for you today. When you use the workshop special, you will get $50 off today. All you have to do is use the coupon code CRS97. That's all capital letters, capital C, capital R, capital S, and then the numbers 97. So if you could do me a favor and just write that coupon code in your workbook, because people will ask me over and over, what was the coupon code? But I want to answer your questions in just one more minute. So I don't want to be distracted by the coupon code. So that means that your investment is only $97. It's a one-time purchase. You get lifetime access. You can use it with all your children. And of course, it's updated regularly, which is what we just did and why it has so many course descriptions in there. Now, when you're doing your order for the comprehensive record solution, right up here is where you insert the coupon code. Make sure that you hit the word apply. The word apply is right there on your screen. And then it will change this number to 97 when you hit apply. Okay. The other thing I wanted to point out is that you can get more help homeschooling high school if you wanted to add the high school solution. Let me show you what that's all about. You can add the high school solution for only $97 to your purchase if you want to. The high school solution is also a lifetime purchase. It's intended to help you start homeschooling strong. You can use it with all of your kids. It will help you. How do you teach them? How do you motivate them? How do you teach them math? How do you teach them science? How do you arrange your day? How do you become a better home educator? How do you deal with technology in your home? How do you homeschool a ninth grader? So it covers every piece of homeschooling middle school and high school. Once you've decided, yes, you want to purchase, there will be one more special offer for you. And this is for more scholarship help. So if you're looking at college, you're sure your child is college bound, then you want to add the college launch solution paying for college module. It will help you to make sure your child graduates debt-free. Basically, there's 4 things included: how to find private scholarships, how to earn merit scholarships, how to get need-based scholarships, and how to shorten the time spent in college so you're only paying for maybe 2 years of college instead of 4 years in college. And so you can add that to your purchase as well. All right, let me give you a quick summary and then I'm going to answer your questions. If you've already sent me in a question, I didn't get a chance to read it yet. So you just chime in with your questions now. Okay. The offer today is the comprehensive record solution for $50 off with a coupon code. You get 4 everyday value bonuses, including a free month of the Silver Training Club. You get 4 surprise bonuses, including the total transcript solution. You get the 4 fast mover workshop bonuses, which is the mini conference that I promised you. And all you have to do is go to comprehensiverecordsolution.com and use the coupon code CRS97. All right, let me go in here and answer some questions. And I'm going to start with Danielle. Hi, Danielle. I hope you're still paying attention. All right. Let's see, Danielle. I'm missing. Everybody's typing in their question. Okay, it's okay. You keep typing in your question. I will catch up with you. Danielle says, my daughter is taking dual enrollment classes at community college. Do you recommend including course descriptions for those classes? Also, in your experience, does completing a high school with an associate degree benefit scholarships or limit scholarships? Okay, question number 1. Yes, you can add the course descriptions for community college, but I will say it's extremely easy because those are found online through their online catalog. So you can cut and paste them into your document. And then for the grading criteria, you just say grade provided by Highline Community College, right? And that will put it all into one place. You're trying to make this as easy as possible for colleges to see the whole of education. They, yes, they could go to the community college and get course descriptions for them, but that's an extra step. So if you can put that step into your records, then it will be a little bit easier for them to read through it. Now, as far as getting an associate's degree through dual enrollment when you're in high school, That does not have any negatives with scholarships at all. When you do have an associate's degree, you're still applying as a college freshman. You're going in as a college freshman. It's as if you are socially entering as a college freshman, but scholastically entering as a college junior. These are two different pathways, so it should not include any problems with scholarship options. The one thing you have to be careful of is that if your child has taken even one community college class, even a 1 credit PE class, after they have graduated homeschooling high school, then that does change their status. But when you're dual enrollment, it does not. Remember when I said that the applying for college module, it talks through different ways to get scholarships, and one of the ways to decrease the amount you pay on college is by shortening the time you spend in college. And dual enrollment is one way to shorten the time that you spend in college. Okay. Angela, hi Angela McFarland. She says, where do you put job experiences on their transcript? So you would put it on their activity list for certain work experience, right? But I also included that on my class list. It was on my transcript. I called it occupational education. I put it under the electives category. They were all grouped together, all 4 years of occupational education. I did write a course description. Almost any job that your child is going to have includes some things in common, the ability to work hard, show up on time, teamwork, uh, getting a bank account, balancing their checkbook, handling their pay, that sort of thing. So there are certain things that a job experience will always provide. When I was in public high school, a lot of my friends were involved with job experience in the high school through DECA or other programs, and it is okay for homeschool parents to do that as well. Okay, Michelle has a question. If a student is dual enrolled, having both college credit and high school credit, should there be 2 course descriptions listed? The answer to that one, Michelle, is no. There is just 1 course description per class. We, as the home educator, are only able to give our child high school credit. The dual enrollment part, it's the college's job to confer the college credit. We can only give the high school credit, and that's why we're writing down the course description for this high school class that also is used by the college. Okay. All righty. Sharon's question, do you place all of the course descriptions in a binder, or are they submitted electronically, or are they put it onto the Common App? Okay, so the answer is, you ready, Sharon? It's very important. All of the above, okay? Each college has their own way to apply. Some of them use the Common App. With the Common App, you are allowed to upload 4 transcripts, and you can upload more than that later, but they start with 4 transcripts. As a home educator, your first transcript would be the 1 piece of paper transcript. The second transcript would be the entire comprehensive record package. Maybe you did dual enrollment. The third transcript might be your dual enrollment college transcript. Maybe your fourth transcript would be from that one class they took in 9th grade at the public high school. Okay, so you upload it when you use the Common App. I believe, if I had to recall, I believe there's 600 colleges that use the Common App. Seems like a lot, but there's 5,000 colleges or more nationwide. So not all colleges use the Common App, right? Many colleges will have an online portal for their application. For them, you might be uploading the document, or you might be emailing the document to them. For other colleges, they don't have an online portal, and they might be the only ones where there's no way for you to send it to them other than snail mail. One of the things that I find about the package, and again, this is what the package looks like. It's multiple pages. It includes the transcript, activity list, course description, school profile, and more. One of the things that I found as I was visiting colleges is I would bring this document and hand it to them. And I found that it was like they weighed the heft of it. And they, in their mind, this is how heavy this homeschooler's education was. It showed the depth, the heft of their education. And so holding it in their hands has value. It was also fascinating to watch them use this, right? Some of them would look at every single page. Others would look at the course description and then skip how in the world did she teach Latin, something like, or piano? How'd you do that? And so they would look at that. For other colleges that were a distance away, we would take this document, we would lay a one-piece transcript on top. On top of that was one piece of paper that was a cover letter enclosed as the comprehensive records for my son, Kevin Binns. We put it into a priority mailing envelope and we shipped it to the college. Try to put the name of your admission counselor on top. It is less helpful, but still okay if you put admission and then the name of the college admission department and the name of the college. So that's how we submitted it. And the answer again is all of the above. Depends on your school. So let me just say really quickly, I want to say thank you to Melissa B for your purchase. Thank you, Melissa. And also to Tina P. Thank you for your purchase, Tina. Okay, let's see. Rosalind's question. Yes, Rosalind is next. Are you listening, Rosalind? Can I write course descriptions at the end of the school year or just take notes of the best that we did through the school year? So what I did was I had a binder of material with the names of the classes that I was intending to teach. Every month or two, I would get into that binder. I would start filing the things that my kids had produced in there so that I would have a record of their math tests or the papers that they had written or whatever it was that they had done, the lab reports for science or whatever. As I got into the school year, I started to recognize I always have records for these classes, but I never have records for these classes. And then I would be intentional. How can I create records for these classes in case they should ever ask me for something, in case I needed to make a course description? How am I going to do that? So for music, I would write down all of their performance ready pieces when they did their performances, their recitals. I would keep the recital program, different things like that. On PE, I would start writing down what they did for PE. The other thing I did is when I would have them write an English paper, I would have them write their English paper about that subject. So they would write an English paper about art or write an English paper about what they were learning about teamwork or something for PE. And then I would take that paper and not put it in English at all. I would put it in their PE section or in their art section of their folder. And that way, when we got to the end of the school year, I would have more grading criteria. Even though we didn't use tests, I would have more grading criteria for those classes. I find it easier when you actually do the typing of your course descriptions more towards the end of the year. And so for that reason, I encourage you to get the comprehensive record solution during summer or fall so that you can do all of your learning ahead of time so you don't get that time pressure and you're, looking at that blank page completely overwhelmed. But by the time spring comes around, you're ready to go and you know what you're doing. Marissa says, can I use the course descriptions for subjects done in middle school if they're high school level? Yes, any class that goes on the high school transcript should have a course description because, again, you don't know when it's going to be required or requested or appreciated And so you want to be ready with that. Let me say thank you to Annie S. Thank you, Annie, for your purchase today. Wendy said, in Pennsylvania, we are required to have evaluation. What is your opinion of having a narrative evaluation attached to the transcript? Would that be helpful or necessary? So when you're applying to colleges, Wendy, you're applying to a college that accepts students from all states and many countries. And so they have to be adept at accepting a homeschool transcript from me in Seattle just as well as they can accept a homeschool transcript from you in Pennsylvania. So it's completely optional what you include. For evaluation of a student's entire progress, that might be better written as a letter of recommendation that is submitted. Um, but sometimes they aren't in the best position to write a letter of recommendation. You really want that to be glowing. If this narrative evaluation is of just one class at a time, you might save that in your homeschool records and you could say work available on request, narrative evaluation by whatever the organization is available on request as well. CW says, will the common, I'm sure you mean the Common App, because she wrote Common Core, he wrote Common Core, but I'm sure you mean, will the Common App accept a packet? And yes, they do. Again, you upload it as a transcript, save it as a PDF so it cannot be changed, save the whole document as a PDF. Check the size limit to make sure that your PDF is not larger than the size allowed to upload. If you have any pictures, chances are it will be too big to upload. If you do not have pictures, but you have only the words and numbers that colleges understand, chances are it will easily fit and easily be able to upload to the Common App. Again, that is Michelle's question as well. It is uploaded as one of the 4 transcripts that you're allowed to upload. One transcript is just the one-page transcript. They need that for the thumbs up, thumbs down, qualified, not qualified. And then the second transcript includes the entire packet so that they can see the rigor of your homeschool. They look at the transcript first. We've got a live one. Let's read one more piece of paper. And then they'll open that second one up, the comprehensive record, and then they'll see, oh my goodness, we have a live one. This kid is well educated. We have one of those moms. You know, we all want to be one of those moms. Okay. Let me say thank you to Teresa R. Thank you, Teresa, for your purchase. And Audrey H. Audrey, thank you so much today for your purchase. I hope that you love it and can put it to good use. Okay, Jay has a question. Just the letter J. How do we add classes that our kids took in middle school for high school credit? So, for example, Algebra 1 and Geometry. I do have an example for you in the comprehensive record solution. You will be able to see it clearly as well in the little book that you're going to download after class is over. But let me see if I can hold this up to the camera to see if you can tell. You see how it has the 9th grade classes and the 10th grade classes. Above the 9th grade classes, it says early high school credit. And that's where you put in the Algebra 1 and Geometry. I know the picture is very, very small when you're looking at that, but it will make more sense as you start working into the comprehensive record solution. You'll be able to get all the information that you need there. Okay, Rosalind said, our child is starting a business and we wanted to create a transcript to reflect that journey. How? Better starting with how. Let me just start with a round of applause. Way to go. That is delight-directed learning. I talk about delight-directed learning all the time. It increases the chance of scholarship. It increases your chance of getting a fantastic job. It increases the number of credits that your child will earn by having fun. It feels like school is less work that way. I just say kudos to you. That's fantastic. So there's a lot of methods to do that. And you will see in the comprehensive record solution, many people have included lots of different business opportunities, entrepreneurship in their comprehensive records. Sometimes they're working on their business and it's really 1 credit per year. Other times it might be multiple credits per year. It can be the creating of music over here, and then the business and the website and the selling and the money over here. And so they might have 2 credits per year. So it really just depends on your situation. Hopefully, as you're reading through the comprehensive record solution, you'll get all of the answers that you need. But if you find that you need more help, you can join the Gold Carrot Club. You actually, the Gold Care Club is a consultation with me for 20 minutes each week when you call me on a Wednesday, or you could send me an email when you're a member of the Gold Care Club, and I will be able to answer you on that. When you are a member of the Silver Training Club, let's see, remember the Silver Training Club is free for 1 month with your purchase. But when you're a member of the Silver Training Club, you actually get a discount on the Gold Carrot Club. And that way you and I could talk about it, because starting a business is too broad for me to even guess at what your child did. Marissa says, do you specify audiobook when listing audiobooks on the reading list? Yes. And with a reluctant reader, your goal is to try to get 6 books that they read with their own eyes. They can be very, very short. Bonus points if they are classic works of literature. So, for example, The Old Man and the Sea, classic literature. Also, only 100 pages. You could read Moby Dick, which is 600 pages, also a classic, also about the sea, you know. So with a reluctant reader, you're choosing short classics, and your goal is about 6. And then you would add their audiobooks and just say audiobook right next to it. Let's see. Michelle, what do you think about using an online portfolio for all of their work samples, including graphic images, videos, etc.? You can do that and provide a link. However, it's better if it comes from the student as they interact with that college and they're emailing them that link. It's a little more difficult to present a link in your comprehensive records. An online portfolio may not get you the admission and the scholarships that you want for an art degree. However, you do have to explain it in words and numbers, again, in your comprehensive record as they get into colleges that way. And they will also, with an art school, they're going to want to see a portfolio, and each one will have their own method of exactly how that should look. And if you do need to create an art portfolio, I encourage you to use your art instructor to help you with that, because it's a very specific thing. Let's see. Should you zip all of the documents together when you're sending it to colleges? A zip file is a little bit of an impediment. It's better to save it as a PDF. Rosalind says, is pass-fail looked upon poorly versus traditional grading? Yes, absolutely. Always provide real grades, A, B, C, 4.0, 3.0, 2.0. Always provide real grades and a real GPA. Even in my homeschool records, I had one that was pass-fail. I think it was driver's ed. I still regret not putting a grade on driver's ed, because I am a real teacher as a home educator. I do not have a teaching degree, but I'm still a real teacher. You are a real teacher too, and you can provide grades, real grades for your child. Diana, I want to say, Diana, thank you. Diana G, thank you for your purchase today. Marissa says, can I give credit for my child's activities, things like choir, sports, etc.? And do I also list those activities on the course description? And then how do I grade them if I even need to? Okay, This is described at length in the comprehensive record solution. When I talk about the reading and awards list, it goes into great detail on how exactly you do that. But let me try to summarize that 1 hour class in, I don't know, 3 minutes. Okay. Yes, you can give an activity, can be on the transcript as a class, also on your activity list. Classic example, when I was in high school, public high school, my transcript said choir every year. My activity list said I was a member of the Bellevue High School Concert Choir. You can see how it sounds a little different. One is an educational class title, the other one is a description of an activity, but they were both side by side on my transcript and on my activity list. When you're grading activities like choir or sports, so you're talking about either music or PE, how do you grade those? You grade them the same way they do in public or private high school. I went to public and private high school, and my grade on PE was, did I show up? Did I have a good attitude? Did I try? I didn't even have to succeed. I was never jumped over a hurdle in my life. I tried jumping over a hurdle multiple times. I literally, when we did our gymnastics, I passed out on the high bar. That's not even a lie. So yeah, that was how they graded my PE. The way that I graded my children's piano was basically the way that a piano teacher grades. They don't use fill in the bubble tests. They look, listen, and feel, right? Are their hands moving in the way they're supposed to move? Is their wrist in the right position? Are they reading the music? Can they play with musicality? Did they perform? Did they have a good attitude? Did they do their practice when for the amount of time they were supposed to practice? And that is how we graded those things. All right. Let's see. Should course descriptions have a header more than just the title, like when the class was taken, the grade, the credit, the teacher? Okay, so first of all, the teacher is a resource that you've used, like a textbook, right? So you might list, here's the textbook, here's the online class, and here's the teacher's name. And those are all just resources that you used, okay? The header would just say course description, American literature with composition. When a course description is written at another school, a public or private school, they don't list the individual details of the student on the header. They might only have the grading details for the student at the bottom. And that's what I would encourage you to do. The header does not have to say the credit value or the grade or anything, but when you go down to the bottom, that's where you describe the grading criteria. Okay. Looks like I need to finish up. So here's what I'm going to do. If you are hesitating on making it a purchase for any reason, I don't want you to go away disappointed. So if you could just fill in a question and just say, I am hesitating because, and tell me why that is, and then I will be able to answer your questions. If you have a question that you've been asking and I haven't answered it yet, and it's important to you, I want you to type in the question again, but please say urgent, all capital letters, urgent, and then put in your question. And then I will make sure to have time to answer yours, because we only have another 10 minutes or so for me to answer questions. And I want to make sure that everybody who has a question specifically about the comprehensive record solution gets their answer, and everybody who has an urgent question gets their answer as well. Okay. So let's see. Lucinda says, I'm hesitating because my kids are 10 and 12 years old. So I appreciate that. One thing I know though, Lucinda, is that here you are, you're taking a class on how to homeschool high school and middle school. I know that your 12-year-old is entering middle school. Now is the perfect time for you to be learning more and taking more continuing education. The reason why I am a successful homeschooler, the reason why my kids got the full tuition scholarship, was because I learned how to homeschool high school when my kids were 10 and 12 years old. And I was shocked at that time to find out that my 12-year-old was doing high school work. I had no idea. And so it can be really helpful for you to learn about record keeping. If you feel like you would be overwhelmed by the comprehensive record solution, you can buy just the total transcript solution separately. It's a little bit smaller, but I do encourage you to strike while the iron's hot. Here you are thinking about high school, you and me chatting back and forth. Now is the perfect time for you to learn more about homeschooling high school. Elena says, well, I'm hesitating because I want to know if the transcript templates are available with the comprehensive record solution purchase. Yes, they are. And the reason is we've added the total transcript solution in as well. So you get all more than 10 templates. You know, it used to be 10 templates, and now I think we have 12. I know we included the NCAA compliant template. Okay, Karen has an urgent question. Hi, Karen. Are university codes required on the transcript? No, they are not. The university code is used when you're uploading forms to the common application or the coalition application. You don't need to put it on the transcript. That does remind me, though, there is one piece of information I never want to see on your transcript, okay? Never put a social security number on the transcript. You don't know who is going to be that is going to be handed to. You don't know how securely they're going to keep it or throw it away, or whether it will be opened. Also, it is illegal for people to use your social security number for identification purposes. That is only for the IRS to use it for identification purposes. So it's illegal for them to ask, and you don't need to include it, and it can be an impediment if you have that. The one time they will need your child's social security number is if they're giving you scholarships. So you wait until you have been given admission and given scholarships, and then you provide your social security number with just you and that one other college, because that is more of a business relationship. Like when you apply for a job and you get the job, that's when you give them their social, but you don't put your social on your resume, right? And you don't put your social on your transcript. Sorry, went down a rabbit hole. Jessica said, I am hesitant because we unschool and follow the child, and I feel like I'm lost at how I will complete a transcript. First of all, good job for you. Probably half of my homeschool was Delight Directed Learning, and I do encourage you to have course descriptions for all of your Delight Directed Learning. I encourage you to have a transcript that lists the subjects that your children have been Delight Directed Learning. And I think that the comprehensive record solution gives you plenty of information on how to include those classes, including the sticky note strategy that I talked about earlier. The sticky note strategy, basically, let me see if I got a sticky note. You take a little sticky note and you put on what it was that they did, about how many hours did they spend, what subjects might it be. It could be PE, but it could be fine art, or it could be home ec, I don't know. And so you'd write that on there, and then you'd kind of give an evaluation. If they got an A because they were cooperative and they were interested, they got a C because I forced them and they hated it the whole time, right? And then you take your sticky notes and you would group them all together. So we're going to put these two sticky notes together and then these two sticky notes together. And that's how you build classes into enough work that it ends up being a credit. And then you use those sticky notes as if it were the table of contents for your math book. Topics include, right? Let me give a easy to understand example. If your child is doing, say, scouting and they get badges, every scouting badge is a sticky note, okay? Every scouting badge, every 4-H project is a sticky note. You group them together until you have all of your sticky notes laid out, and then you'll see how many hours did they spend in total and what projects were they done, and those are your topics include, instead of the table of contents for a math book. Okay. Yes, you can totally do it, Jessica. I did it myself with mine, and many of my course descriptions would say this is a self-directed course. And that's a good first writing prompt for people who unschool and follow the interests of the child. This is a self-directed course. In this course, the student will learn the concepts of microeconomics, right? Okay. Rosalind said, I'm hesitating because I'm not sure this is the right solution for us starting a business with our child. Maybe I should consider the Gold Care Club. Um, I think that the Gold Care Club will be extremely helpful because sometimes you get into these situations where it's so unique. Just like with Jessica, who unschools, it's just such a unique thing. I can't give you a pat answer, right? And so when that happens, when you join the Gold Care Club, then you and I can actually talk together and get it all figured out. The only thing is, I still want you to put that information into comprehensive records of some sort. And I do find it easier when people get the comprehensive records solution because then they can cut and paste the things that are standard. And then you join the Gold Care Club, you get that discount. Let me go back one. Because of the Silver Training Club, you get a discount on the Gold Care Club. And so you buy the comprehensive record solution and then you upgrade to the Gold Care Club. So you have all of the templates for the easy classes that are standard, but then you can talk to me about the classes that are not standard. Sometimes we might just get one non-standard class figured out per week. Other times we'll get 4 or 5 classes figured out per week. And I will ask you things like, okay, what is your child doing for fun? And we'll talk through that. About how many hours do they spend? And we'll talk through that. And then I'll say, well, you know what? I really like this class title for that experience. And it sounds like it's going to be 1 credit. And they're definitely doing well enough to give them an A because they love it. And we'll talk through the whole thing. Okay. Ingrid said, I'm hesitating because we use a specific homeschool program, Classical Conversation, and I'm not sure that the course descriptions will be useful for me. Ingrid, we have many, many course descriptions that are based on classical conversations. They carefully control their course descriptions, and I cannot plagiarize what they have sent, but many homeschoolers have written their own course descriptions for what they did at classical conversations and then given me permission to use it. Sharon's question, I love this question. Why the 1-page course description limit? Can they be longer? Okay, you're looking for about 1 page per description. This is my description for Latin 1, okay? And the reason for that is about 1 page is all that a college will have time for. They might have 5 or 10 minutes to devote to each student, so they're going to be skimming. As soon as you have a course description that's longer than 1 page, it's not actually a course description anymore. It is a syllabus. Okay, and perhaps you've heard of a syllabus. They hand them out in college classes, many high school classes. They might be 5 pages long. Here's our agreement. Here's how I'm going to grade. This weight for that. All sorts of details on there. You don't need all that information. All you need is a description of the class, what you used, and how you graded. The rest is fluff. So you want to have it be limited to 1 page or less. If it's longer than 1 page, it's no longer a course description, it's a syllabus. Melissa has an urgent question. Hi, Melissa. If a grade is provided by an outside teacher or program, can we just state that in the grading criteria without breaking it down? Yes, and I find that by far the easiest way. So when you are homeschooling independent classes, you have all the grading criteria, you're listing as much as you possibly can if your brain will allow it. If your head's going to explode, it's okay to just say the grade was based on tests, quizzes, and daily work, remember? Okay, but you're putting it all down as much as you can without making your head explode when it's a homeschool class. But then if it's a teacher outside of the home, a public school, a private school, an online school, a dual enrollment type school, then you could say as the grading evaluation, instead of saying all of this for the grading evaluation, You would just say final grade provided by Highline Community College or whatever. Or final grade provided by the name of the teacher at this and this program. Okay. All right. Rosalind had a question. Can you describe the high school solution versus the college launch solution? Okay, good question. On the very, very last page of your workbook, I give a one sentence summary of each of my solution products. Down here, it's on again, the very, very last page. And basically, the college launch solution is perfect for families who are certain that they are college bound, would really like scholarships, and are planning on homeschooling through high school, whether that's dual enrollment or not, doesn't matter. If you're going to be homeschooling through high school and you have a college bound student, the college launch solution is perfect for you. The college launch solution does not include the record keeping help. So you would need both pieces, record keeping and college launch solution, if you have a college bound teenager. It's just that I don't like bundling together because some of them do one thing at a time. Others will use that for their record keeping, and then they need the college launch solution. Now, when you make your purchase of the college launch solution, there you go. You can add the high school help. That is most helpful if you have a 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th grader, or if you've never homeschooled before. It talks you through, learning styles and how do you teach PE the natural way, and how do you motivate a student to learn? How do you include delight directed learning, that sort of thing. So it's a very hands-on how to homeschool. That's what the high school solution is. You can add more scholarship help with the module paying for college. This is only one piece of the greater comprehensive record solution. College launch solution is a very big product, 8 modules. This is only one of the 8 modules. It's very specific to paying for college and getting the big scholarships. So I hope that explained things and didn't make it more confusing to you. Okay, I am all done. Oh, Sharon had a quick question. If we're already a Silver Training Club member, what is the price to upgrade to the Gold Care Club? Okay, so Sharon, if you're a Silver Training Club member, the discount for the Gold Care Club is $67 per month, and that is a month-by-month fee. So as long as you stay a member, it will continue to charge you at $67 a month. You can stay for 1 month, you can stay for 5 or 10 years, however long you want to. I do have some people that will join the Gold Care Club every summer, and others that will stay for year after year after year. We really get to know each other well, and that is helpful, because then when you say something, I actually know who you are and I know your story. Let me say really quickly, thank you to Heliana V. Thank you for your purchase today. And also for Elena T. Thank you for your purchase as well. Okay, I am going to answer one more question before I say goodbye. And what I'd like for you to do is to write down the email address for my staff. So if you have any additional questions, they will be able to answer that for you. Okay. So this last question is about Heliana, and it is, do the transcript templates calculate GPA and weighted GPA for AP or honors? Generally speaking, I do not recommend weighting grades. Colleges have told me that the first thing they have to do when you have weighted grades is unweight them. Weighting grades is when one high school competes with another high school and says, my kids are smarter than your kids. And they do that by artificially inflating the grades and weighting grades for AP, dual enrollment, honors classes higher. That is why some high schools, you can graduate with a 5.63 GPA, as opposed to other high schools where you can only graduate with a 4.0 GPA, right? So colleges know that different high schools weight in different ways, and that's the big problem. They all have their own way to weight grades. And so in order for them to be fair, what they have to do is unweight them first. So I teach you in the comprehensive record solution, how do you calculate your GPA, if you're going to weight them or not weight them, and how do you do that math. I do have a template that does weight grades for you, but I also am a big fan of not weighting grades unless a college specifically asks you for it. And that will happen. Sometimes a college will say, you know what, could you please weight your grades because I want to give you more scholarships. I'm not even kidding, right? So you want to weight grades when they ask for it, but otherwise I encourage you to not weight grades. You can simply say honors or AP on your transcript, and then they will apply their own weighting formula when they calculate your student as an applicant. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me today. I had a fantastic time. It's really been fun being here. I got to wear my flower lei, and that was fun too. So I'm looking forward to talking with you again, and I really appreciate you being here with me. Everybody stuck through it to the end. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and that you'll take care of yourself and take care of one another. I want you all to be kind to one another and teach your homeschoolers to be kind to one another. One thing I wanted to say as well is that we do have a lot of people that are still on the order form trying to make that decision, and I don't want to penalize you at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend the sale until midnight tonight. So as long as you place your order by midnight your time, that would be great. True story, as long as it's done by the time we get to work tomorrow, that's really all we need. But don't tell anybody I said that. Sale ends at midnight tonight. That'll give you an opportunity to check with your significant other, make sure this is a purchase that is okay for you to make. I know my husband and I, we always had this rule: $20 or more, we had to check with each other. I appreciate that if that is you as well. Okay, guys, so take care and have a wonderful day. It was good to talk with you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.